Hello and welcome to Levant TV headlines. Kurdish militia have driven the Islamic State group from the Syrian town of Kobani and raised their flags, dealing the jihadists an important blow after months of heavy fighting. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has said his country opposes the idea of a Kurdish-controlled autonomous government in northern Syria. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees says that it cannot afford to repair Gaza homes damaged in last year's war with Israel because donors have failed to pay. Egypt's top Islamic cleric, Grand Mufti Sheikh Shawki Alam, has backed the arrest of more than 500 supporters of the blacklisted Muslim Brotherhood following clashes over the weekend on the anniversary of the country's 2011 uprising. And 3 security guards have been killed at the luxury hotel Corinthia in Libya's capital Tripoli after 5 gunmen from the Islamic State group stormed the building. Now let's take a look at the top headlines in today's newspapers in the Middle East. Starting with Lebanon, the Daily Star leads reporting that Lebanon's interior minister and a Palestinian official have dismissed reports that Shadi Malawi, one of Lebanon's most wanted terrorists, was still inside the Palestinian refugee camp of Ain al-Hilweh in the southern city of Sidon. The paper also reports that in his first public appearance since undergoing brain surgery last week, Maronite patriarch Bashar al-Rai expressed hope that dialogue between rival political groups would lead to ending Lebanon's presidential stalemate and reactivating state institutions. The Egypt Independent leads reporting that former Egyptian Vice President Mohamed el-Baradei has provoked harsh criticisms by the government's defenders in the media over statements that slammed the current regime for handling the transitional period that followed the ouster of former President Mohamed Morsi. The paper also reports that Japan has vowed to work with Jordan to secure the release of a Japanese journalist held by Islamic State militants after the killing last week of another Japanese captive. From the UAE, the Khalij Times leads reporting that Kurdish fighters have expelled Daesh group militants from inside the Syrian border town of Kobani, dealing a key symbolic blow to the extremists' ambitions. The paper also reports that Greece's far-left Syriza party has emerged as the winner of the country's parliamentary elections, and Alexis Tsipras, the 40-year-old leader of the anti-austerity party, was sworn in as Greek Prime Minister, the country's youngest Prime Minister since 1865. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East headlines from the UK papers. The Guardian leads its Middle East news, reporting that gunmen have stormed a luxury Libyan hotel popular with foreigners, killing at least 3 guards and taking hostages. al-Naas, a spokesman for a Tripoli security agency, said a standoff continued at the Corinthia hotel, which sits along the Mediterranean Sea. The Telegraph leads its Middle East news, reporting that Kurdish militias have claimed to have driven Islamic State jihadists from the Syrian town of Kobani after an intense 4-month battle that killed thousands but captured the world's imagination. Photographs from the town showed lines of Kurdish men in battle fatigues dancing hand in hand against a backdrop of shattered buildings. The Independent reports that a court has threatened to cut off Facebook across Turkey if the US tech giant does not block a number of pages which it believes insult the Prophet Muhammad. The ruling passed on Sunday was followed by a request by a prosecutor, with Facebook blocking one offending page on Monday. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East headlines in the international papers. From Germany, the Deutsche Welle reports that the United States has closed its embassy in Sinai due to security concerns following the collapse of the government. Despite the political instability, Washington continues to target al-Qaeda members in Yemen. And finally, China's Global Times reports that in a meeting with his Portuguese counterpart, Rui Machet, in Tehran on Monday, Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad-Javad Zarif hailed what he termed as positive the European country's current approach to oppose the imposition of any new sanctions against Tehran and trying out diplomacy. And for more updates, please visit Levant.tv. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join us again tomorrow. Bye for now.